here to welcome you all today to this company presentation session with Meezan Bank. And from Meezan Bank, we have Mr. Tariq Mehraj, who's the financial controller here. And also his team is here to help you all today. I will just quickly run through the housekeeping rules. The session today is for 1 hour, including question and answers. And all participants and students are requested to keep their videos off during the session. We may request you to turn it on for a group photograph. All participants are requested to stay muted, please, and just type your questions in the chat box. This session will be recorded and we will email it to all the participants. A few other things, we are requesting all of the students to please connect with your mentors. And there is a CF Institute registration form which needs to be completed. So again, I would request you to please complete it in time. We've requested all of you for your photographs and would appreciate if you can, whoever has not sent us, to please send them to us. And for your benefit, we have arranged 3 training sessions for students to better understand how to do report writing and actually be more equipped to deal with this challenge. So there's one on the 24th of November, how to analyze a listed company at 8 p.m. There's one on 26th November, how to analyze a bank at 5 p.m. And 27th November, we have one on introduction to financial modeling at 4:30 p.m. And please keep checking your emails for more updates. I would now like to hand over to Mr. Raza Jafri, who is the director at the CFA Society Pakistan. Over to you, Raza.
Sarwat, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Tariq Sahab, again, Sarwat has done the introduction, but on behalf of the CFA Society Pakistan, thank you so much for being with us here today. I realize your time is precious, and we are truly grateful for having you on board. Obviously, Sarwat has given the house. Thank you. So again, this is the company part of the company presentation part of the 13th research challenge that is being conducted by CFA Society Pakistan. We have had other banks participate in the past, but this is the first time that we have an Islamic bank being the subject company. So we're very happy to do that. And for the analysts, all I can say to you, or budding analysts, our students, that we cannot emphasize this enough, how much of a fantastic opportunity this is. During the course of this competition, you will end up replicating very closely what an analyst does in his day-to-day work life, be it financial modeling or report writing. When you work with your mentors in the next few months, you will get to live the life of a research analyst, and this sort of experience, it's fantastic. I mean, both at the local level and obviously for the winning team or teams at the regional or international level, this is real life experience. And what I can say to you with respect to Meezan Bank is, obviously, this is a bank that regularly conducts analyst briefings, regularly meets investors, whether they are both local or international. So I can assure you that what you will be hearing today is what professional investors hear from Meezan Bank. So this experience is irreplaceable in my view. And so please, this is something that that it's a fantastic opportunity. So make the most of it. Before I hand over to Tariq Saab, I think the plan is to have brief comments from him. He will run us through the presentation, and then obviously we will follow it up with a Q&A session. So Tariq Saab, with that, I'm going to hand over to you.
Thank you, Raza. Thank you, Sarwat. We, as Meezan Bank, is very thankful to CFA Institute for granting us this opportunity and participating in this activity. I'll just start this presentation now. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hope you all can see the screen presentation. Okay. So we begin with our vision. Our vision is the very strongest one. I think is the strongest vision among all the companies I've gone through. Our vision is to establish Islamic banking as banking of first choice. This is the vision with which Meezan Bank was incorporated, and Alhamdulillah is continuing in our journey to achieve this vision. And inshallah, we are striving our best to achieve this vision. Our mission is to be a premier Islamic bank offering a one-stop shop for innovative value-added products and services to our customer within the bounds of Sharia. For us, Sharia is supreme law against which we cannot do any activity which is against the Sharia rules. We want to offer each and every product within the banks that is available under the conventional banks, but within the bounds of Sharia. Brief about our structure, like any other company, listed company or bank, there's a board of directors which govern the function of the, which are charged with the governance function of the Meezan Bank. Along with them, since we are Islamic bank, there's a Sharia Supervisory Board, which also performs, I would say, governance function of Sharia related activities. So all activities of the Meezan Bank are subject to Sharia Supervisory Board oversight as well, along with the Board of Directors, which is required for other banks. So for Meezan Bank, there is a dual governance, one with the corporate governance and the other is the Sharia governance. There's a audit committee in place to which Sharia audit and internal audit reports directly to them, while the Sharia compliance and the resident Sharia board member also report to Sharia Supervisory Board independently. Our board of directors, is a very diverse sort of board. We have three independent directors. Mr. Nurul Rahman is also happens to be head of our audit committee. He's a fellow member of Chartered Accountants, and he was the senior partner in EY Bahrain, and he was the senior partner of EY Middle East as well. Along with Mr. Nurul Rahman, there's MS Nosheen. She is a graduate in law from Stanford University and currently serving ICI as a legal counsel. Mr. Atif Azim, he is qualified from University of I think it was Michigan in the US, and he has the technology side of Cisco division in previously as well. He is also our board member, Mr. Atif Azim, and Mr. Irfan Siddiqui is our founding president and CEO. One more thing I would like to add here is that appointment of all board members is subject to state bank approval. The board committees, currently we have 5 board committees. The board audit committee, as I mentioned before, the board audit committee is headed by Mr. Nurul Rahman Abid. There's also board risk management committee, board human resource and remuneration committee, and board information technology committee. This board IFRS 9 implementation oversight committee is comparatively the new one, and it was formed under the directions of a state bank, which required all banks to form a specific board committee for IFRS 9 implementation. Our Sharia Supervisory Board is headed by Justice Muhammad Taqi Usmani Sahab, a renowned scholar of the country as well as of the whole world, maybe. Chairman, he is the Chairman Sharia Board member. Along with him, the other members are Dr. Muhammad Imran Ashraf Usmani Sahab. He is our Vice Chairman of Sharia Board member as well. And Mr. Sheikh Isam Muhammad Isab, he is also Sharia Board member. And Mr. Mufti Muhammad Naveed Alam, he is our resident Sharia Board member or Sharia advisor. And he also participates in the Sharia Supervisory Board. This is brief about our credit rating. Our long-term credit rating is AA+, and it has been reaffirmed on the basis of 2019 financial statements. Short-term credit rating is A1+, and short-term rating of A1+ is the highest standard in the short-term rating. And we have been rated by BIS Credit Rating Company, which was formerly DCR BIS Credit Rating Company in Pakistan. This is the recent award. Meezan Bank has been recognized as Best Bank of Pakistan by CFA Society in September. This event was held. And the more interesting thing is about this event, or it gives us great pleasure that they included Meezan Bank as a large size bank. So Meezan Bank was not only included as large size bank by the CFA Society, but also won the award of Best Bank of Pakistan for the year 2019. The other prestigious award that Meezan Bank won from CFS Society is Best Islamic Bank of the year 2019 and Best Corporate Finance House for the year 2019 fixed income. Okay. In July 2020, the Asian Banker, a strategic business intelligence for Asia Financial Service Community, issued a ranking of strongest 500 banks by balance sheet evaluation across Asia Pacific, and Meezan Bank was ranked as 59 among the whole these 500 banks. The interesting part about this ranking issued by the Asian Banker was that Meezan Bank was the 59th, although it was ranked 59, but it was the top Pakistani bank which was included in these ranking. And the second best bank was ranked lower, I think, it by around a margin of 100 further ranks down. So the evaluation took place, including the following criteria, which included asset to GDP ratio, year-on-year growth in loans, deposits, loan to deposit ratio, and among all other things, return on asset and cost to income ratio as well. These were the other major awards and accolades that Meezan Bank has received during the period. One important award that Meezan Bank received, not recently, but in 2018, the Best Bank award that was given to Meezan Bank on basis of 2018 financial evaluation. Meezan Bank won that award. That award was co-hosted by the Pakistan Banking Association and the AF Regulation, along with their media partners of the Dawn News. So the Meezan Bank has always been the recipient of major awards and accolades throughout this journey. So coming to the financial numbers, Meezan Bank recently achieved a trillion rupee plus deposit. It is a watershed milestone for us. We became the sixth largest bank in Pakistan with over a trillion rupee deposit. As of September, our deposit stood at 1.1 trillion nearly. As compared to when we started our journey in 2002, we just had 5 billion of deposits. Our CAGR since inception has been very impressive. It is around 36%, and it gives us great pleasure to inform you that we are the fastest bank to achieve trillion rupee deposit benchmark in Pakistan. So in December 2011, this gives a brief of our year-wise ranking of Meezan Bank in Pakistan banking industry. Back in December 2011, we were ranked 13 in terms of size of deposits. That's the usual benchmark for measuring the size of the bank. So in December 2011, we were ranked 13, and Alhamdulillah, by June 20th, we became the sixth largest bank in the Pakistan banking industry. This slide gives us a brief overview of the position of banks in Pakistan as of September 30th, 2020. That's the latest financial numbers that are publicly available for any bank in Pakistan. They are the top 5 banks with Allied Bank at the number 5 with 1.12 trillion deposit as of September 30th. While you notice that Meezan Bank is ranked at number 6 and its deposit is 1.09 trillion. So we believe we are at the doorstep of entering into the top 5 bank category. Following us is Bank Al Habib, that's close to us. It's 1089 billion as of September 30th, and then Bank Al Fla and other rest of the banks follow. The deposit per branch of the Meezan Bank is rupees 1.3 billion. If you notice, this is the higher than the average deposit per branch of the top 5 banks. And it is around the average of the Meezan and its peer group of 1372. It must be like, I just want to highlight more information is that Meezan Bank, this will also come in the presentation in the later on slide, but Meezan Bank expanded its geographical network, added around more than 350 plus branches in the last 4-5 years. And it takes time for branches to gain the size, the muscle. But still, the Meezan Bank's deposit per branch is comparable to any other bank. If you even compare Meezan Bank's deposit per branch of 1360, it's higher than the banking industry average of 1.2 billion. Uh, Profitability, Meezan Bank's profit is 18.079 for the 9 months period ended. And if you notice, it is higher than the two banks in the top 5 bank category. So I'll go to the next slide, and this gives us more detailed analysis of the bank's performance during the 9 months period. Bank's profit after tax for the 9 months period is rupees 18.08 billion as compared to rupees 10.94 billion in the comparative period of 2019. That's the growth of 65%, with profit after tax for the third quarter amounted to rupees 6.4 billion. We will just stop for a few minutes, let Azan prayers to be completed, and then we will resume the session. Okay, so we will continue our presentation. Let me just start once again from this slide. The profit after tax for the 9 months is rupees 18.08 billion on the unconsolidated financial statement, and it is higher by 65% as compared to rupees 10.94 billion in the comparative period of 2019. The third quarter profit is 4% higher as compared to the second quarter of rupees 6.4 billion. Our earnings per share on the enhanced share capital is rupees 12.78. We issued bonus shares in our second half year results of 10%. The EPS is accounted for that. Our return on average equity, including surplus, is 37%, and I think highest in the history of the Meezan Bank. Our return on asset is nearly 2% now. The revenue income on net spread increased to rupees 49.76 billion as compared to rupees 33.16 billion in the comparative period due to higher asset volume and underlying asset yield, complemented by a lower cost of fund due to immediate repricing of deposits. Our fee, commission, and other income remains slightly lower, that is lower by 13% due to lower trade activity. We understand that the Pakistan went through a lockdown period of a few months or 2 months, I guess. During this lack of economic activity definitely affected fee commission income of the bank, as it affected the fee commission income of the whole banking industry as well. Apart from fee commission income, the bank's capital gain increased to rupees 935 million. Due to partial sale of energy sukuk. If you notice, the capital gain portion is not very much material to the PNL. Our administrative expenses. The administrative expenses rose to 22.67 billion versus 18.38 billion, primarily on the backdrop of opening of 113 new branches in from 2019 September. The Meezan Bank never stopped its organic growth despite the difficult economic conditions. We are continuously expanding and we are increasing our branch presence throughout the country. We are now at 240 plus cities. with the branch network of around 802 branches as of September 30th, 2020. Our income efficiency ratio improved to 40%, as compared to 46% in 2019 on the backdrop of higher income. While our number of new branches the branches we opened 42 branches into 2020 and 113 new branches from September 2019. We are now, as I mentioned, 802 branches in around 245 cities. This we have already covered. We are now the sixth largest bank in terms of deposit as well as branch network. Provisions, I think branch network, I think we are not the sixth largest in terms of branch network. I think we are now the seventh largest. I think Bank Al Habib has higher number of branches in September. Provisions again as NPLs include specific provisions of rupees 2.9 billion along with general provision of rupees 1 billion that the bank made due to potential NPL due to stress on borrowers in view of COVID-19 outbreak. Our NPL infection ratio is probably the lowest. It's around 2% versus the banking industry average of 9.7%. While at the same time, our coverage ratio is 140% as compared to banking industry average of 81.6%. Deposits, as I mentioned earlier, the deposits of the bank grew to rupees 1.1 trillion nearly as compared to rupees 933 billion in December 2019. We were higher by 17%. The industry grew by 15% during this time. Market share of deposits, our market share increased to 6.5%. It was 6% in December 2019. Now, this is very important. Our current account deposit, despite the growth in deposit, our current account deposit also grew to 38%. You understand the bank does not incur any cost of fund on current account deposit, so it contributes directly to the income. So our current account deposit grew to 38% of our total deposit mix. It was 36% in December 2019. The CASA mix of the bank also improved to 77%. It was 74% in December 2019. The deposits are the bloodline of any bank, and higher the CASA ratio, higher the current account ratio, the higher the profitability likely to be. The total assets of the bank gross rupees 1.3 trillion uh, as compared to rupees 1.12 trillion in December 2019. They were higher by 18%. Investments, Alhamdulillah, we are thankful to the Government of Pakistan and State Bank. They have addressed the chronic liquidity deployment problem for Islamic banks, and now the GOPs are being issued on regular intervals. So our investment portfolio has increased substantially. It has increased to rupees 362 billion as compared to rupees 226 billion in December 2019. This is a growth of 61%. Primarily due to deployment in GOPs, Sukuk and the issue of energy Sukuk too. Our financings remain competitively flat to rupees 490 billion, primarily due to repayment of seasonal financing and due to economic slowdown. This gives the detailed analysis of the deposit growth of Meezan Bank. The most important factor for any bank's strength is its deposits, and higher the granularity of its deposits, the higher, in our view, the strength of the bank is. Meezan Bank's individual contributes 70% of its deposits, and this is probably the highest. It is the highest. It was the highest in 2019 for any bank for the granularity of deposits. So it is it was 67% in 2019. It has now increased to 70%. Our period and deposits have increased by 17%. And if you notice, our term deposit or the fixed deposit increased just marginally. Actually, they decreased marginally by 3%, while our current account and saving account effectively increased by 22%. That was the period and deposit, but if the bank earns on average balances, so if you have a closer look at the average balances, these average deposits increased by 22% as compared to period and total increase of 17%. Our current account growth remains impressive. We have a 5-year CAGR of 24%, and our as of September current account deposits grew to 412 billion. Our CASA mix, historical CASA mix and branch network. If you see our current account portion continuously increasing in our deposit mix. That's the part of our deliberate strategy. We want to have the higher number of CASA. Secondly, coming to the branch network, if you see, we have 451 branches that we have added to our network from 2014, and definitely this gives us the advantage over the others on the premise that we are increasing our presence, and we are onboarding new customers and continuously increasing our deposit growth. Definitely, the branch network's size contributes to its deposit base in Pakistan, at least. In leading, this is our size of market share of Islamic banking industry. If you notice closely, we have been largely at around 35% of total Islamic banking industry in Pakistan, right from 2014 to 2020. The total industry of Islamic banking is okay. The total Islamic banking industry is rupees 2.95 trillion as of June 30th, and Meezan Bank has 35% of its deposit share. The total Islamic banking industry is 17% of the total banking industry, and the pie is increasing every year. The size of the Islamic banking is growing faster than the total banking industry growth in terms of deposits. Right. Coming to financing and asset quality, our financing mix, like for any other bank, the corporate occupies the larger portion of the financing mix. It's 73% as of September, while the SME commercial is 16% and consumer is 10%. If you see our 5-year CAGR, it's 23% from 2014. While the last 2 years have been relatively flat, but we expect growth by this year and early next year in our financing portfolio with improving economic conditions. Our asset quality has been like more than 130% from right from the 2017, and we have been able to maintain our higher asset quality. I tell you what, this is the highest asset quality, probably the highest among the banking industry in Pakistan, while our Npl ratio, if you notice, have been continuously decreasing, but it has had a slight uptick in 2020, but we believe this will also come down to 2% with the improving economic conditions. Our strong profitability has resulted in a higher equity and our higher CAR. If you notice, our equity has increased to rupees 71 billion. That's a growth of 23.1%, while our Tier 1 has also increased to 17.8%. It was 12.9% as of December 2019. As of September, our total CAR is 23.14. That is almost double the requirement of 11.5. While our Tier 1 CAR is 17.82 as compared to the minimum requirement of 9%, and our CET1 or the Common Equity Tier 1 is 16.6 as compared to the requirement of 7.5. Investment portfolio, I think I have already covered, but just to give a brief snapshot of our investment portfolio, our government Ijara Sukuk occupies like 104 billion of the total investment portfolio. Pakistan Energy Sukuk 1 and 2 together they occupy like around 119 billion, while GOP BAM module is rupees 107 billion. Trade finance business volume. Has been the very contributing factor to increase in our fee and commission income. If you notice that the Meezan Bank's trade business volume have increased substantially over the last 3-4 years, and we are still actively pursuing of gathering more trade business volume, as this brings more of the current account deposits as well as brings FX and other trade related fee income. That's our profitability ratios at a glance. Our profit, if you see for 2014, it was 4.5 billion for the whole 2014. It has now increased to rupees 18 billion. That's around 4 times growth only for the 9 months. While our return on equity is it's probably highest in our banking history, is of 37%, with return on asset has a more stronger uptake of 2%, while the income and efficiency ratio is improving to 39.8%. Coming to digital side, Meezan Bank is behind none. We have the highest rated app on both iOS and Android. On Play Store, it is ranked at 4.9%, while on Apple Store, it's 4.8%. Due to economic lockdown, our digital volumes have increased substantially, almost thrice. If you see our transaction count, it has increased from 5.8 million to 19 million, while the underlying value of transactions have also increased substantially to 418 billion. And these are the half-year numbers. So the numbers would have for September has actually grown much further. This is the snapshot of our consolidated financial position as of September 30th. Our investments is high, 362 billion. They recorded a growth of 61%. Due from FI or the deployment in the money market is stand at 282 billion, while Islamic financing remained comparatively flat due to lower economic activity and seasonal repayment of financing at rupees 490 billion. The total asset increased by 18% to rupees 1.3 billion. Our deposit recorded a growth of 17%, and they are almost 1.1 trillion at September 20. Net assets or the equity is 71.4 billion, recording a growth of 21%. So this is our PNL. If you see growth in our net spread, it grew by 15%. That growth comes from higher average volumes. You see our average volumes, especially the current accounts, is increased by more than 20% on the average basis. Our fee and commission recorded a slight dip, but our net spread and the total income as a whole has increased by 43%. Our operating expenses recorded 23% growth. That's due to the higher branch network. We have added around 100 plus branches in the last year or so. The provisions against NPLs, including the general provision of rupees 1 billion, primarily due to COVID-19, the stress on borrowers due to lockdowns and COVID-19 outbreak, is rupees 3.9 billion. The profit before tax recorded a growth of 58%, and our profit after tax grew by 65%. Our EPS on the enhanced capital is 12.78% as compared to rupees 7.73 in the comparative period. Right. So this is the quarter-on-quarter profitability comparison. If you see, our return on financings declined by 9%, while the return on deposit and the dues declined by 22%. That's due to the time lag between the repricing of asset and liability. The SBP reduces SBP policy rate. It brought it down from 13.25% to 7% in June 2020. Our net spread remained comparatively flat at 17.4 billion. Our provisions were rupees 1 billion for the quarter, and the profit after tax was 6.4 billion for the quarter. The EPS is 4.53% for the quarter. This is our consolidated balance sheet. Our total assets for the consolidated balance sheet is 1.329 trillion, while the liabilities are 1.25 trillion, and the total equity, including the non-controlling interest, is 75.5 billion. The consolidated profit after tax grew by 68%. This has primarily come from the standalone financial statement, but also from the excellent results of our subsidiary, primarily due to improved stock market sentiment And our profit after tax for the consolidated financial statements was higher by 69%, and it was like 18.294 billion as of September 30th. The EPS is rupees 12.93 on the consolidated financial statements. A brief overview of our performance over the last 6 years. If you see our balance sheet at calendar year 2014, we had total assets of 440 billion. They have increased by 3 times to reach rupees 1.32 trillion by September 20th, while the deposits of the bank also recorded 3 times growth of an increase to like rupees 1090 billion as of September 30th. Our equity, it grew also like substantially. It was 23.8 billion and it grew to 71.4 billion. And I would also like to mention here that we have been continuously paying dividends and bonuses to our shareholders. So this is the brief comparison of the P&L over the period. If you see our net spread, it was 13 billion for 2014, and for September 20th, it has increased to rupees 50 billion. While our operating expenses have also recorded growth, that's probably due to higher number of branch network. Like I mentioned before, the bank has added around 450 branches from 2014 to its network, and definitely they are contributing to the higher profitability and higher asset volumes of the bank. The bank's profit after tax for the 9 months is 18.07 billion. The EPS, it was in 2014 rupees 3.23, and for 9 months in 2020, it has increased to 12.78 rupees. The dividend per share are also mentioned in the last line. If you see, we have been continuously rewarding our shareholders on the achieving excellent results. Uh, these are the key ratios. If you see our income efficiency ratio in 2014, it was 58.5. It has now come down to like 40%. And with the total network size has also increased from 428 to around 802 branches by September. The EPS, I think we have already covered that. If you look at the NPL, they were 3.8% and now they have gone down to 2.1%. Our advance to deposit ratio, although it went higher in the mid of our journey from 2014, but it has now gone down to 45%, and we expect to like further improvement in our ADR ratio with the improving economic conditions. The CASA ratio, if you see, it has been continuously improving. We started from 71% in 2014 and it's now 77%. The capital adequacy ratio has almost doubled from 11.9 to 23.1 as of September 20th, while the Tier 1 CAR has also recorded substantial growth. ROE, if you see, there's been we have been always have been producing ROE of more than 20%, but this 37% for the current year is clearly highest in our history. Our return on asset has also improved to 2.0% for September. It was 1.18 in 2014. We will now cover our bank's subsidiary, Al Meezan Investment Management, and the bank subsidiary is involved in it's the AMC that has exclusive mandate of providing Sharia compliant investment solution to its investors. Our Sharia the lead role in the development of Islamic finance worldwide. We are the largest. We have the largest private sector AMC with currently managing over rupees 170 billion of the assets of the our investors. Excuse me, our investors. We manage the largest open-end Sharia compliant equity fund and voluntary pension fund with the AUM of rupees 30 billion and rupees 12 billion. AUM is asset under management, sir. We have the largest investor base of 125,000 investors, and we have been currently high performing funds providing competitive returns, Sharia compliant returns as compared to the industry. The credit rating of the AMC is our AMC is AM1 rating, and it is the highest possible management quality rating. They have the longest track record of managing discretionary portfolio along with the advisory services. Al Mizan Investment Management Limited developed the first Sharia compliant index, that's KMI 30. And recently they have also launched the ETF called Meezan Pakistan Exchange Traded Fund. This is the brief sort of financial statistics of our subsidiary. They have asset under management of rupees 170 billion with total number of funds of 17. And if we include plans, their number grows to 29. They have 27 branches across the country as of September 30th, 2020. And if like for Meezan Bank, if you see the the investor base of our subsidiary is higher for the individuals. If you see, it's more than it's around 57% as of September 20th. So this brings us to our end of presentation. And if there's any questions, we are available for you to please go ahead.
If everybody could just put their questions up in the chat window, the management of Meezan Bank will be able to take them one-on-one. So I see the question up, but yeah.
Yeah. We are focusing on all sectors. If we are talking about the advances portfolio, if you see our annual report, our financing is spread across all sector, and we have presence in every sector of the economy. We have high worth, I would say blue chip companies, corporate sectors, as well as SME commercial, as well as consumer window. Our consumer car ijara product is the probability among the top three volume wise in the Pakistan banking industry. And we also have a higher housing finance portfolio. Coming to the regarding investments. Okay, so our the fixed rate government sukuk, they issued the GOP Ijara fixed rate sukuk, I think for 5 years at 8.37%. The floating rate sukuk are now generally being the last, I think, issued was at around T minus probably 20 basis point. Yes, definitely. Decrease in the policy rate would play its part, and I believe it will happen to the whole industry. But they will definitely have an impact. But I think that's probably that's what I can say. The policy lower policy rate would definitely have an impact. So my question is, how many branches is planning to open in future? We are hoping to add more branches to our network. We are, although there's no definite number I have right now with me, but we will continue with our history. We added around 113 new branches in the previous year. I don't think that we will go that aggressively, but it will be of a sizable increase in our branch network. Uh, how you see future outlook considering the second wave of COVID and provisions in this context? The second wave of COVID is happening right now, and we are like with you also evaluating its impact on the economy. But we appreciate the government's stance. For now, they are providing and giving everything to protect the economic growth of the country. And we believe, inshallah, the things will improve. Okay, I think I missed some question. Well, the impact of new government scheme and Naya Pakistan Roshan digital account, I think they will play their part, specifically the housing sector. They have kicked start the construction sector, and definitely this will open new window for, although we already had a sizable housing finance portfolio, but I think with the introduction, with the specific focus of the Prime Minister, I think this will have tremendous impact in the overall economy and as well as on the banking industry. Russian digital account have been very successful, and Nizam Bank, to the best of my knowledge, was the one of the highest received the one of the highest applications among the banks in Pakistan for the Russian digital account, and we appreciate the proactiveness of the federal government and the State Bank of Pakistan, and we are supporting their initiatives. CASA deposits the bank have increased by 41%. There's now been assigned some factors related to COVID played a role. What can we expect to the bank future CASA? We expect to see improvement in our CASA deposit. Yes, there would have been some impact of COVID, but it's also a part of our deliberate strategy. If you look at our previous history of CASA, it has been continuously growing, ma'am. What are future possible digital banking's contribution? Uh, like we mentioned earlier, the young generation of Pakistan is continuously moving to the digital banking. I believe that although the digital banking channel will see tremendous growth, but it's not going to like we are going to see the end of the brick and mortar model. I think this will have its own position, at least for onboarding of new customers. Well, for Russian digital accounts, I don't have the exact numbers with me, but I've been told we had received the highest number of Russian digital account applications. With CASA, I think I've already answered that it's a part of our deliberate strategy. We want to increase our CASA ratio, and our number speaks for themselves. Yes, previously the investment opportunities were somewhat limited, but now with the we are thankful to the federal government and state bank. Now there have been regular issues of GOP Ijara Sukuk, and we believe this actually has eased down the pressure of on the banks, Islamic banks particularly, for liquidity deployment, and we believe this will continue in the foreseeable future. Well, we have been deploying our deposits in Sharia compliant avenues efficiently, and you have seen that there's been tremendous growth in our deposit portfolio. Although we had major deployment in the financing and the money market lending because of lack of availability of sovereign securities, but now with the I think issue of new GOP Jalsakuk, this is going to change. The bank has always been careful on its loan book. That's why our NPL ratio is 2% as compared to the industry average of 8%. Yes, we have preference to always to the high quality customers. We always like go for the quality rather than for rate. I think that answers your query. What sort of concerns are expressed by investment dealing with Islamic bank? How this means? Well, Islamic banking is growing in the Pakistan like at a very good pace, and we have seen like a lot of conventional banks have started their windows in Pakistan. And if you look at the charts of Islamic banking, is growing much faster than the pace of the total banking. So we believe yes. Meezan Bank with its 35% of market share, at least for the last 4 or 5 years, I think the deposit of Meezan Bank are continue to like grow in a higher manner. Yeah. Well, it's well, you can say we have a first mover advantage of in the Islamic banking industry, but there are now other banks as well. There are total 5 dedicated Islamic banks, and I think they are also growing. And the Meezan Bank carries its brand value, as well as we have a higher service quality standards. I believe it's not just the Islamic banking; it's the both the brand value and the digital. If you see our digital trends, it has been rated at highest. Now it has nothing to do with the Islamic thing, but the thing is that Meezan Bank has been continuously working on quite a few channels to increase its deposit base, and that's why we have been able to grow much higher than the banking industry pace. Well, we do have best of human resources available with us, but I think like our CEO always say, it's largely due to barka in our bank. Uh, we are Islamic bank, and we always bind ourselves to the Sharia governance. So I think that has quite more to play, as well as our human resource teams. What is the impact of Islam? Well, Mizan Bank has continuously been maintaining 35%, so we don't see a particular threat from windows of commercial bank on competition. Well, advance to deposit ratio of the bank is higher than the top for the top 5 banks, but we believe it's at a reasonable level, and we are like working on making it slightly better in the years to come, but with the overall improvement in the economy. Okay, as Mizan Bank is one of the top, does it plan to global? For now, we would like to concentrate in our country, and maybe sometime in later future. The dividend payout ratio has decreased compared to 2000 because of pandemic. I can understand, but do you expect the payout ratio? It was 50%. Well, the payout ratio for the 9 months, I think we paid 10% bonus shares, as well as 40% of cash dividends. So it's already, I think, 50%. So I don't see any decline on that, and it's always the discretion of the board of paying the dividends. Well, digital channel, we have always focused on digital channels. We have made significant investments. We are acquiring digital platform. This will enable us to like improve our digital channels in terms of performance and in terms of capacity to our new customers, as well as we are working on new data warehouse with a renowned technology company in Pakistan. Why Npl paying blue and similar since now bank policies and users can reduce due does the bank makes itself better? Well, for now, although we the Mozambique's deposits have been growing quite significantly, as I mentioned before. So I think that will continue. If we are like even below the MDR due to our lower earnings compared to conventional banks, I think the customers feel safe with Mizan Bank, and they have their trust on us and our Sharia board as well. So we don't see anything which make us unattractive for them. Well, like I said before, our capital adequacy ratio has improved quite significantly as compared to previous periods. We are ready for any risk-based supervisory framework in terms of capital. We don't see any major challenge on that front. We have all Islamic banking products available for all of our customers. We don't have any specific preference over any customer. We believe a right product for the right customer, sir. Well, it is allowed under the Sharia regulations that Kybor can be used the underlying benchmark. Meezan Bank has mentioned different. Yes, we can definitely look into if there's an opportunity. We can definitely look into the investment in energy sukuks. What is the prime rate? I didn't get it. Is it come? Yes, we are very much comfortable with our existing coverage ratio. Well, our competition is like for every other bank is our peers and the top five banks. So no one in particular, sir. We always focus on our performance rather than on the competition. What is the view on interest rate reversals impact on the business bank's performance? The earnings will definitely going to be affected. There are no two views about it. But with the significant growth in the volumes, we believe that impact will be managed in terms of profitability. That's our view. The Sharia Supervisory Board, ma'am, is separate from the Board of Directors. The Board of Directors are have different governance function from the Sharia Board, sir. Okay, we will be taking just last few questions. I think we are already like uh, coming to end to our session. Do you see any threat from Telenor, Microfinance, EasyPesa, and Mobilink? Well, not particularly. We see a threat from microfinance banks, not particularly. Well, deposits of Nizam Bank as well as the industry has grown significantly during the period. Like I mentioned before, in September, the total banking industry deposit grew by 15%, while Mizan Bank deposit grew by 17%. But more importantly, Mizan Bank's current account and saving account grew by 22%. With credit uptake reducing, how does the bank suspect its yield on earning assets in future? Uh, well, the yields, we don't see any particular or sharp reduction in the yields. As com they are, if they are like if the underlying benchmark rate has gone down, that's definitely going to affect. But the spread over that benchmark, we don't see any sharp downward trend on that. Yes, Mizan Bank has a housing finance product. Well, we have been like the investments on the investment side. We also have a corporate finance portfolio as well as corporate sukuk as well. Hunain, as a benchmark for pricing, sir. I mean, sir, like I think this is it for the Q&A. If
Thanks up so much. Thank you so much for that. I think we've. I didn't think you'd be able to answer so many questions, but you did that admirably. So thank you so much for that. And I think again, just like to repeat that this is a presentation that is obviously by and large delivered to professional investors as well. So it's fantastic. Thank you again, sir. And
Yeah, thank you so much.
thank you, Ji.
Yeah.
Sarvat, if you have any comments to make before closing the session.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Tariq sir. Thank you, Meezan's team. Thank you all the students and the faculty for joining us today. We will be sharing the recording with you via email, and maybe they'll post it on the social media as well. Thank you, Raza, for taking time out as well. And that's goodbye from us, and all the best to all of you. Thank you, Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, one more thing, we just wanted to have a group photograph. So can we have everyone switch on their video so we can have a group photograph?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for
With me
switching on
is
your videos.
Mr. Sikandar and Mr. Abdul Samad.
Yes, we can see you. If you could just kind of request all of you to please switch on your videos. Thank you. I can see. Yeah, now I can see both of Sikandar and Abdul Samad. Great. May I request all of you to please switch on your videos. Thank you. Rena, is that good?
Yeah, some people haven't turned on their videos, but I think we've taken majority of the pictures. I mean, majority of them are there in the picture. Now we're done.
Great, great. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.